Welcome everyone to the CruiseWeb webinar, where the spotlight today is the Globus family of brands. I am Susan Gaines, and I'm the business development manager that works super closely with the travel advisors at the CruiseWeb. They know our product inside and out. They are fantastic advisors and can help make a seamless vacation experience for you when you travel with the Globus family. You are in for a real treat. I have Scott Widenhouse with me, and he's going to go over the territory that he covers as a tour director, and that is the Alpine region. So take it away, Scott.
Hi, Susan. It's great to be here with you all, talking a little bit about the Globus family of brands. Globus family of brands is a very interesting company with a very long history. The company actually first came into existence in 1928 when a man named Antonio Mantegazza, who lived in Lugano, Switzerland, decided to purchase a small rowboat with which he could transport tourists. He was seeing a lot of tourists in that area, primarily from Europe. They were taking advantage of the new fast rail lines and the better roads, and taking vacations and learning more about the continent in which they lived. And he began transporting people on the lake, and giving little lake tours. Within a very short period of time, he had actually purchased some little buses like you see here, and he was able to transport people on weekend trips to places like Milan or to Venice, or even to Zurich or Lucerne. These were all places that were just within, half a day's drive at the time. So it was very interesting, and it was a real period of a lot of growth. Unfortunately, in 1938, the Second World War started, and it brought tourism to a grinding halt in Europe. People weren't able to travel anymore, and they had to stay home in their own home countries. But luckily, the company was able to survive the Second World War because they had postal routes. And this meant that they controlled certain routes of public buses delivering passengers from one town to the next. Anyway, the war came to an end in 1945, and touristic activities were resumed. And by the 1950s, they decided that they wanted to sell tours in the United States, not just to Europeans, but to American citizens. And by 1958, they were offering two big grand European tours to American citizens that were 35 days in length and 52 days in length. And this was the real start of the American tourism with the Globus family of brands in Europe. In the 1960s, they were one of the largest bus operators in Europe, and they established then another company called Cosmos. Cosmos is a low budget but very high value product, and it was meant originally for English tourists. Today, of course, it's tourists from all over the world as well, just as Globus is. And then in 2004, they started the Avalon Waterways, which are our award-winning river cruise boats that run on rivers like the Danube and the Rhine. Today, the company has more than 500 different vacations that are offered on 6 continents. Currently, we're in 67 countries. However, that figure changes every year, depending on where you're able to travel or not. And we have been 95 years in business. We are still owned by the same family, and we are in the 3rd generation of family management. There's me right there.
What a lovely mug that is there, right?
I know. I look so happy. That was my last touring day in 2019, end of November. And I'm happy because I've had a long, busy season, and but we didn't know what was coming at us because of the whole COVID epidemic in 2020 and 21. But I am a tour director with the Globus family of brands, and I am assigned to the Central European region. We are approximately 150 guides on the or in Europe, I should say, and we are divided into teams and we cover specialty regions. So that means we have a team in the UK and Ireland, Scotland. We have a team in Spain, France, Portugal, I beg your pardon, Spain, Portugal, Morocco, a team in France, team in Italy, and my region, which is Central Europe. And that means that we cover in my region, myself and my 40 colleagues, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Hungary, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovak Republic, Bulgaria, Romania, Croatia, Slovenia, all the way down to Greece. Sounds like a lot.
Just a few countries, right?
Just a few, but really it's not random that we're divided this way, because that was, in fact, a major European empire that existed for a millennia, for 1,000 years practically. And that was the Holy Roman Empire of German nations. When your clients travel with us, they'll always have a tour director in the coach. And we have a lot of longevity. No one just starts at Globus. They either come from the outside with experience, or they're brought up from our daughter company, Cosmos. Typically, your tour directors will have, 15 to 20 years of experience. In my case, I've been now 26 years with the Globus family.
You started when you were 2, right?
Exactly. I was just a youngster. But we actually don't think for a moment that I'm the oldest. Not at all. We had 2 guides last year who celebrated 50 years on the road with our company. So we really are not just a family of brands. We are a family in that way. We often like to say that we are a very small, large company. Your tour directors will be multilingual. On the continent, it is required that we all speak 3 languages. So on our tours, of course, we have many included excursions. We have excellent transportation in various forms, which I'll talk about. Great hotels conveniently located, skip the line access. And of course, we have a wonderful collection of tour directors. I have to say, my colleagues are just wonderful, professional, and very dedicated and devoted tour directors with long histories. In addition, one of the things that I really like to talk about is the freedom that being on an escorted tour offers to your clients. From the moment they step into your office or you speak with them on the phone till they come home after their tour, we have really saved them so much stress and time, giving them great hotels, great inclusions, and allowing them to maximize their free time doing what they want, not worrying where to fill up the rental car. And oh my gosh, does gas really cost the equivalent of $8 a gallon?
And they're fighting with their travel partner. Which way do we go?
Well, those are some of my memories from my childhood when my parents were so poor and when they had no money and we were in the car and my mom and dad yelling, left, right, left, right. Anyway, so it goes. Those are the fun stories.
Absolutely.
So here's a classic example of a typical Globus touring coach. This is a Volvo coach in this case, and the man driving it, his name is Marco Mercatali, and he's one of our old drivers. Red and white are our traditional colors, and you'll see that our buses almost always on continental Europe have 3 axles. This is a tiny little detail, but it's the kind of thing we focus on. A regular bus only has 2 axles and is 36 feet long. We have 3 axles. We're 42 feet long, but we still take only 44 passengers. A bus like this could hold, 58 or so, but we are maximum at 44. Inside the bus, restroom, video screens, all the safety equipment, seat belts, and naturally equipped for Wi-Fi. Super important because many clients, of course, are working on the road now as they're able to work remotely, and they want to keep in touch with friends and family at all times.
And I love that we have a driver who's concentrating on the road, while you as a tour director are concentrating on the wealth of information you can share and the comfort for our clients.
Absolutely. And, this is true. In Europe, on the continent, we always have separate drivers and tour directors. We have 2 very specific jobs. And my job is to focus on the clients, and our driver's job is to focus on our clients' safety and get us from point A to point B. So here you can see, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a wonderful picture of the Eiffel Tower. And this is just to show you that our tours have so many inclusions. And if you lay our program side by side with our direct competitors, you're going to find that, generally speaking, we always have more inclusions every day and throughout the tour. And this can be guided sightseeing tours with local guides who join us, visits to museums like the Vatican or the Louvre, and also amazing sites like the Eiffel Tower, often included on our France tours. This picture right here of this young lady who's walking down the street, she's just showing you that we are using 4- and 5-star hotels that are centrally located near the historic centers and sites that we want to see, and that our clients, of course, are clamoring to see when they come to Europe. When you look at her, she's pulling her suitcase down a little street that wouldn't even fit the bus. That's how convenient the hotels often are. Please, though, do note her shoes. Tell your clients they don't need to pack those shoes. We have cobblestones and such.
Yeah, they won't last long on your feet, right?
No, and it's not comfortable. All of a sudden, the sneakers come out and they're walking much more comfortably after that. They put those shoes away.
Yes.
So here, ladies and gents, a picture of the beautiful Colosseum, which is often an included feature on our tours. But of course, this is one of the most visited tourist sites in the world, the Colosseum is. And the lines can become horrific. At Globus, we pay all the extra service fees in order that we can have guaranteed reservation times, that our guides are able to walk our clients right inside at a specific time, and not that we waste your clients' valuable time standing in line all day long. Not at all.
That's such an invaluable feature. It really, truly is.
It is. The most valuable thing about the clients' visits in Europe is their time. And we want to respect that as fully as we can. And that's a great example. We have this sort of skip the line feature in Rome at the Colosseum, the Vatican, Versailles Palace, Louvre. The list is endless.
God, I love your accents.
So
this gentleman speaks what, 3-4 languages?
I try. I destroy 4. So I love this picture right here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this guy, a Globus Tour Director in the 1970s, and he looks so happy.
So spiffy.
He does, with that stash, and I bet he's wearing bell bottoms even. But in any event, why is he so happy? Well, at Globus, your clients are going to have porterage service every single day. This means that the suitcases get delivered from the bus upstairs to their rooms and back to the coach again the next day. He's counted and checked those bags, and so he's happy. The driver's loading. He doesn't look so happy. As you look at our programs, you're going to see we have a lot of local favorites. LF, that's the abbreviation you'll see on the program. And every tour has 2 or 3 of these specialty visits or features. And in this case, it's a park in Vancouver. But what would a visit to Germany be without a nice bready pretzel and a beer?
My favorite. Delicious.
Or how about a piece of Black Forest chocolate cake? Delicious and low calorie.
Yum.
Just kidding. Just kidding. So on the tour as well, folks, everyone is going to get a link to a Go app. And this is a fantastic app that goes right on their phone that gives people maps and all of their tour details, like hotels, itinerary, nearby restaurants to where we're staying or where they're standing. Runs over GPS, so it's not burning up their data. In addition, everyone is given a headset so they are able to hear the guides as they are speaking, visiting in museums or castles. They wear the earpiece and the guides are talking.
My favorite feature about that Go app is the currency converter. So I know how much money I want to spend on, gift I want to bring home or a little souvenir. Absolutely.
And the people can write all that down, keep track of their expenditures. Exactly. It really works well and they love it. This is a tour, ladies and gentlemen, part of a new series of tours, the Choice Tours by Globus, and we call them by design. And so it starts in Zurich. They're short, I should say, all these tours, 13 of them in total, are short in duration. This is only 7 days, 1 week. Perfect addition, perhaps, if they've done one tour and they want to do another one to maximize that expensive airfare that we're all dealing with today. Shockingly high airfare. 2 days Zurich, 2 days Lake Geneva, and 3 days in Lake Como. Now there's a place to relax. And as you are looking at this, you'll notice the red bubbles with the C in them. And what that means is choice. The C stands for choice, and they have their choice of included excursion, because on these tours, all is included. So in Lake Geneva, they'll have their choice of 3 different excursions, one going into the vineyard, one boat ride on the lake. They can't do everything, they get to choose, but they love it because they love the choice. And husbands and wives and friends traveling in groups can do different activities and still meet back at dinner in the evening.
I love that. And then they brag about who did the better thing, right?
Exactly, exactly. And you can see here, look at all the different choices of these short, fully inclusive tours. Scotland, Greece, Switzerland, and then, of course, hot destination, Portugal. Italy, and then Ireland by design. Just fantastic. But if you have clients traveling in the US, we offer them here as well. 6 different choices, and they're great.
And Canadian ones as well. Fantastic.
Absolutely. A beautiful picture in Italy. That's a town called San Gimignano.
It just flows off of your tongue.
It does. It does. It's just meant there. It's there to whet your appetite. This is a tour in my region, folks, that's super popular. And this really travels through a lot of the nations in the former Eastern Bloc, if you will. And this is highly popular. Starts Berlin, 2 overnights. 2 overnights in Warsaw, 2 overnights in Krakow, 2 overnights in Budapest, 2 overnights in Vienna, 2 overnights in Prague, and then finally back to Berlin for the final night before they fly home. Now, what is so great about this is, one, it's Poland, and it's Czech Republic, Prague, and it's Budapest. These are cities all people want to go to, but also they love 2 overnight visits everywhere. That means that they're going to have a lot of free time and a lot of opportunity to see so many new sites. In addition, let me point out, in Poland, they do visit in Częstochowa, which is a old monastery that houses a very important relic called the Black Madonna. It's an icon. And they go on a tour with a monk, and they visit Auschwitz, which of course is a site of great tragedy and horror during the Second World War. But this tour is very popular. You'll often find me guiding on this bus on those tours. We offer another Poland tour, but this really is a World War II tour, and it starts Warsaw and it ends in Munich, but it really traces the history of the war very well, so well thought out, and people really enjoy it. Warsaw, where the war started, Berlin, where the Nazis had their headquarters, down to Nuremberg, where the Nazi rallies took place and the Jewish citizens were stripped of their rights, finally ending in Munich, where Hitler got his start. There's a beautiful picture of one of the big sites in Dresden that we visit, the Zwinger. That is today a museum, but it was built as a place to store art and have parties. This is one of the most popular tours altogether. Starts and stops in Munich, which is a very big airport, easy to get to, and it hits all the imperial capitals. And I know people are hot for Prague, Budapest, Vienna, Salzburg. These are all some of the most important destinations that people want to see now. But I want to really highlight here, between Vienna and Salzburg, folks, look at that blue line, and it says Danube River. We like to incorporate different methods and modes of transport. And here on this trip, we do a boat ride along the Danube River in one of the most beautiful valleys called the Wachau. I
think that's one of my favorite parts of that particular itinerary.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. The people just love that ride. So it's bus and boat on that trip. Look at the beautiful Danube River on that tour. They'll be there, and they will be on the river at night or in the afternoon as they wish. We have excursions that are included, or even extra excursions if they wish to join. But the city is always illuminated like that. Folks, I wanted to talk a little bit about Croatia, because this is also another super hot destination. And I have to tell you, Croatia and Slovenia are just gorgeous, interesting places, still less expensive than other parts of Europe, and people absolutely love it. Starts in Zagreb, which, by the way, is not on the ocean. Everyone always thinks it's down on the water, but no, it's by mountains because it's way in the north. And you land in Zagreb and make your way then just a short distance to Ljubljana, the capital of the postage stamp country, Slovenia. Ljubljana is known as the City of Dragons. It's believed Jason from Greek mythology killed the dragon and founded the city, and it is absolutely lovely. We have a hotel within walking distance of everything in the downtown. While in Slovenia and while staying in Ljubljana.
This looks gorgeous.
This is gorgeous, and people love it, folks. It's everything. It's not the biggest lake in Europe. It's not even the biggest lake in Slovenia, but it's thought to be one of the most beautiful in all of Europe. Look at the mountains behind. Those are already Alps, because that's where the Alps rise before they make their way to Austria and Switzerland and France. And on this lake, we go on a little boat ride out to this island. And the people travel in these beautiful handcrafted boats, just like Venetian gondolas. This is the quote-unquote Slovenian gondola, you could call it. But look at that beautiful polished wood. 14 people travel in that little boat, and it takes about 10 minutes out to the island to visit the beautiful Baroque church.
Love it.
Gorgeous. As we leave Ljubljana and make our way down towards the coast and back into Croatia, where we actually started the tour, they'll visit the Postanja Cave Park. This is the most famous caves in Slovenia, but not nearly the biggest. And I have to say, why are there so many caves in this country? Well, it's like Swiss cheese in Slovenia. And it has to do with the type of limestone rock and the thousands of years of rushing water and dripping water creating these massive caverns. Here at Postanja Cave Park, the clients actually have to take a train to get into the cave deep enough for our tour. After we visit the cave, we are at the castle. This is about a 5-minute ride away, and this is the castle in the cave, built more than half a millennia ago in this cave, or inside of the cave.
So cool.
It's just fantastic, and the clients go inside. We continue on to the Plivice National Parks. More than 10% of Croatia actually is national parks. What makes this one special? Have a look at those lakes. There are 16 terraced lakes separated by waterfalls like you're seeing there.
Incredible.
Beyond stunning. Continue on to Zadar, known for the Roman ruins. You're seeing here an old Roman marketplace. And finally, we end then, ladies and gentlemen, in Dubrovnik, which is, of course, one of the great places people love to visit. Small town, right on the ocean.
Yeah.
That color water is not photoshopped.
Wow.
Germany tour. I just like to highlight this because it's a great example of what we offer in Germany. But folks, right here is so important. If you see the dotted line on the map between Cologne and Berlin, our clients travel on the ICE, which is the German bullet train, 300 kilometers an hour. Instead of a 9-hour bus ride between Cologne and Berlin, it's a 4.5-hour high-speed train ride. People adore it. In addition, when we're way down in the south, in the Füssen area, they are going to be visiting the beautiful Neuschwanstein Castle, built by Crazy Ludwig, you call him.
Inspiration for a Disney castle, Disney World, right?
Absolutely. Walt Disney copied this. Another Germany tour. I love to show this one off because it's short. 2 nights Berlin, 1 night Dresden, 1 night Rothenburg, and 2 nights in Munich. And folks, it visits the town of Rothenburg. You stay there, and this is a medieval city surrounded by walls. The whole town looks like this photo that you're seeing there. People absolutely adore it.
So quaint.
It is. Cuckoo clocks. You can't go to Germany if you don't see a cuckoo clock. And we visit a manufactory that's owned by a family that has been producing clocks for generations. I love this photo right here of this woman, this young girl wearing her hat with the red balls. This is traditional garb in the Black Forest. Please don't go there today thinking you're going to see this every day. It's only on festival days. And when a girl wears that red hat, it means that she's single, so the boys can see her and follow her around. Married ladies, I'm sorry, you get a hat with a black ball. Switzerland, best of Austria and Switzerland, and this tour starts Vienna, goes to Salzburg and Innsbruck, but the real highlight of this trip, folks, is after Samaritz. Notice the dotted line again. This is a very special rail line that opened in 1930 in Switzerland called the Glacier Express, And there it is right there, traveling over a gorgeous bridge right through a tunnel. 291 kilometers, 180 miles, and goes over a couple hundred bridges through countless tunnels, all the way up to 6,500 feet. And it goes between St. Moritz and the Swiss town of Zermatt. While on board, the clients will be traveling in the first class section, and they will be served a meal at their seat on china with silverware by waiters and waitresses as they look out the panorama windows of the train.
So nice.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And this is where we arrive with this train. This is the town of Zermatt, a small mountain village at 5,500 feet, surrounded by mountains, including the most famous, the Matterhorn. And here where you see the arrow, that is one of our main hotels right on the main little street right in Zermatt. People adore it. These are another series of tours that we have called the Escapes. These are very, very high value, low budget tours in the off season. So October, November, December, January, February, March, people love them. You can tie them into cheap airline tickets, Christmas markets, just simply fantastic. All the same hotels and inclusions like we normally have, just at a much lower budget price. Switzerland we have the imperial capitals, Budapest, Vienna, and Prague. Poland, pure Poland. People love this. This has been running all winter long, every year, year in, year out. People love this tour because Poland is a great destination. Finally, I thought I would show you this fun picture, which is a wedding cup from Nuremberg region. It's made of pewter, and there's an old story about a young apprentice who fell in love with his master's daughter. He wanted to win her hand. Father said no, but allowed him the opportunity if he could figure out a cup if two people could drink at the same time without spilling a drop, and this is what he thought of. Have a look at the next picture. There you go. Lady drinking from the little cup, man from the big cup, and they're sharing a little bit of wine. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope I was able to show you a little bit about the Globus family of brands and what a remarkable and interesting company we are. With 95 years of history, we have so many tried and tested and interesting programs for you to offer to your clients. And I hope that I've been able to answer a few questions for you, but perhaps there's a few more that we can answer.
Yeah, we'll take a look. A few did come through. Before I go over the questions, I just wanted to mention that I just love listening to you speak and educating everyone on the product. It inspires me, makes me want to travel. And it is so important. You know how a tour director could make or break your vacation. And we at the Globus family of brands have the best. So we're thrilled that you're able to be here with us and to go over all the information. So let's chat with some of these Q&A, some of these questions that came across. First one that we have, you mentioned some of the tours that go to the Christmas markets. Can you give us a little bit more information about that?
Sure. So, during the shoulder season, October through March, we have the Escape Tours. And in my particular region of Europe, so Switzerland and Austria and Germany and Hungary and Czech Republic, all of these cities are known for their beautiful Christmas markets and festive Christmas markets. And so these Escape Tours can be tied in so easily to that. And people absolutely love it. Drinking the spiced wine, eating the potato pancakes and the different foods that we eat at the Christmas markets. Of course, cookies and cakes too, naturally.
All right. And the next question, you mentioned an area in Austria and Switzerland that I believe they have the Sound of Music wedding. What area was that in?
Oh, that's in Austria by Salzburg.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of the tours, ladies and gentlemen, that we have that pass through Salzburg, of course, we have an expert guide in Salzburg who joins us, and believe me, he or she will be telling you much of the story. But we also like to stop in the little town called Mondsee, right on a beautiful lake, right outside Salzburg, where the wedding scene from the movie took place. So we'd cover that because we know people love it.
Fantastic. And one more question. Can you explain to us a little bit about the meals that might be included when you have a Globus tour?
Oh, absolutely. So first off, on a Globus tour, every day we have breakfast included. This is a big buffet breakfast in our hotels with both hot and cold items. And then, generally speaking, lunches are on your own wherever we happen to be stopped in a town or a city, or, in some village we might stop at for a break on the highway. Then in the evening, generally speaking, on tour, every other night, we have a dinner included. And this is a 3-course meal that comes with an included drink. So beer, wine, soft drink, coffee, tea with your dessert. And the 3 courses is generally a soup, some type of main course, maybe a meat or with vegetables and potatoes or rice, whatever, a typical meal, but generally with an emphasis on the region in which we're traveling, and then some sort of a dessert. Naturally, if you have clients with meal issues, we do our very, very best to accommodate them, be it, vegetarian, vegan, or people who are gluten-free.
Nice. Well, it's been so fantastic hearing everything that you had to share with us today, Scott. Really, really thankful that you joined us. And if you want some more information, please reach out to the Cruise Web. Their 800 number is listed here for you, 800-377-9383. And they are a fantastic group of advisors that will be able to help you with your vacation dreams and making them come true. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
I think we did that without making